This is FinTech Futures at FinovateFall. I'm joined by Mohamed Desoky. Mohamed, thank you so much for taking time out to speak to us today. How are you? How are you enjoying the conference so far?
Oh, it's wonderful. Great to be here, Paul. It's great to be part of the innovations across fintech and finance and just meet so many great individuals that want to, revolutionize finance.
Excellent, excellent. So just get started then. We'd like to quickly let us know a bit more about yourself and your current role.
Sure. I was raised in North Carolina. I was actually a banker for 4 years. I was an investment banker at Credit Suisse for 3 years in leveraged finance. So I had some exposure to the capital markets, corporate finance, and worked those 80-hour, 100-hour weeks. Gained a lot of experience working with deal teams, and that really leveraged well for me. It played well going into academia. I wanted to bring in that practical experience for students, for fellow faculty, bringing them up to speed on how to make their courses relevant. Finding that practical connection with theory was really the key hallmark of what I gained from my practical experience in Credit Suisse and in academia. And so I really found that combination of connecting the practical elements of banking in the classroom as a way to really gain a lot of support by students and faculty members, and that aided in my leadership of various programs, and ultimately where I am now at Wake Forest, the School of Professional Studies. We launched a FinTech and Analytics program 2 years ago, and so far it's grown a great deal. But my background in banking really helped leverage these concepts in the classroom. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal experience.
Sounds great. I mean, you've mentioned it there, but you're currently academic director, as you said, of the Master of Financial Technology and Analytics program. Can you give us a quick overview then of the curriculum for that and who that's designed for?
Sure. Yes, the Master of FinTech and Analytics at the School of Professional Studies is designed for professionals that are looking to really upskill where they are, either in industry, it could be in finance, it could be in healthcare, it could be in manufacturing. We provide open access to those students who really want to accelerate and advance their careers, again, within their industry or across industries. And we offer a flexible design. So our programs are online, asynchronous. We offer opportunities to interact with faculty throughout the program, but we really want to sort of foster this idea of flexibility and making that study routine or regimen customized based on the student's ability to follow the program. And so we have deadlines in place, but leading up to those deadlines, it's really up to the professionals to choose their schedule to best meet those criteria.
Excellent. And with the continued growth and appeal of the fintech sector, are programs like this becoming more popular now? And what trends are you noticing with the students coming through your program?
Yeah, we're noticing some great trends. I would say that our program has grown 50%, I would say, on average every semester. And it's really that cutting edge, flexible design that we're finding is very attractive to students who are looking to pivot either, again, across industries or within their industry. And so that cutting edge, flexible design is really one of our key differentiators. And then that market relevance, making our program as relevant as possible, hence, my attendance at the conference and bringing some of these innovations back to the classroom, bringing those networks back to the classroom, and having students connect with professionals to learn what it's like to work day to day, let's say in a payments fintech or a lending fintech or regtech, for example. And this makes it very practical, kind of takes us away from just the classical case studies, to real life experiences for students as they advance in their studies. So it's that cutting edge design where we not only bring together academia and practicality, but we allow students to actually interact with industry and learn what it's like on the other side post-studies.
Great, that sounds good. And it's often said that younger generations are more likely to pick brands or service providers that more closely match their principles, like the environmental or social factors, for example. So with this new group of leaders coming into the field then with a really positive impact mindset, how do you see that impacting the industry moving forward in terms of new innovations, and how excited are you for that going forward?
It's very exciting to see. I was part of the Occupy Wall Street movement when I was working here in New York City, and I saw firsthand some of the resistance against some of the economic gains that banks were getting on the back of tax holders. So now it's, we're revolutionizing finance so that we have these technologies that are actually promoting environmental awareness, environmental impact, social impact through financial inclusion. And so we're sort of planting that in the program through our leadership initiatives. We have a leadership dimension within our program that allows students to think about, how they can provide these ideas with a framework with their innovations. And this is a direct way of applying ethical leadership with finance. So I'm personally very excited to see this particular dimension of finance accelerating through our program, through the innovations that we're seeing today. And there's a lot of these different tech firms that are looking at financial inclusion or environmental impact. So you're seeing it firsthand that it's not only on paper, you don't only read these things in books, you actually have technologists and finance professionals working together to demonstrate this impact. And we're trying to bring that in the classroom and have students get inspired. And so it's becoming very relevant, particularly to Gen Z, and definitely to our Generation Alpha. They want to align themselves with firms that are demonstrating this impact. So we would love to bring that into the program as well.
Great, and obviously with programs like yours as well, what you're doing is widening the potential employee base for companies. There's often a lot of talk around the war for talent now. Banks and fintechs are vying for the most talented individuals out there. I mean, how do you see that evolving, and what do businesses need to do these days to make sure that the new talent wants to come and join them?
Yeah, the war for talent, I love that term. It is indeed a war for talent, especially these days where employees or employee candidates can easily switch to other firms that have the same principles that align with them. And that's where I feel is the most important aspect of finding that connection with companies is through their principles. Like, what sort of principles are they following? Namely, from a social impact dimension, what are those principles? Are they really looking to impact urban housing? Are they looking to really financially educate their users? What sort of principles are they following? And from an environmental standpoint, also, this is also becoming crucial for hiring quality talent. I mean, you could say that, okay, compensation is the most important aspect, but if you have a variety of other firms able to offer that employee the same compensation, how do you really differentiate your firm? So it's really demonstrating those principles. It should be at the top of the priority list at these firms to put themselves ahead for hiring, as well as demonstrating really a culture of innovation. I like to think about, I think gone are the days of sticking with just, okay, this is our set way and this is how we're going to follow our product. It's really thinking about, okay, how can we be a creative, especially with Gen AI and all these tools out there. Promoting innovation is another aspect of really attracting talent.
Excellent. And I guess from the business side of things as well, what would you say that financial firms are looking for now from potential candidates?
I would say for potential candidates, it's just the other side. It's that ability to critically think about a solution, and then also demonstrating that they have principles as well. With the fragmented, dimensions of fintech and finance that we're seeing now, it's really showing that, okay, why are you applying to this firm? Why are you targeting this business vertical? Do you really have an interest in wealth tech, for example? Or is it just something you read about? And what have you done to demonstrate your interest in this field? So having that sort of very intentional focus for a particular field will likely reveal itself in an interview. Also having principles, like what's really driving you as an individual to make impact in finance. And some of these aspects of intention are really teased out in our program, particularly towards the end with our capstone. We have students select a topic and really explore that topic, and that could be used to leverage or position themselves for an interview. And I will say equally important is regulation and an awareness of the regulatory stakeholders that are in play here, from the FDIC, the OCC, the FRB, the Federal Reserve Board. I mean, there's a variety out there. I mean, we can spend all day talking about all the regulators out there, but having a sense of, okay, what does regulation mean? What does compliance mean? What does, maybe at a second level, if you have this product, which regulators will be focused in on that product? And just having a generalist sense of GRC, I would say, just governance, risk, and compliance.
Sounds great. And looking at the program itself, then you mentioned briefly earlier AI. It's been a big trending topic at the conference this year, obviously around the industry as well. I mean, with more companies looking for candidates with AI skills now, how have you looked to introduce that into the program?
Yes, this is one of the key topics that we're wrestling with, at the school. We're talking about Gen AI almost every day. It's revolutionizing the way we execute our operations. It's obviously a tool for students. It's talked about a great deal. It's been talked about a great deal at the conference. I've seen a handful of demos that have included chatbots in their application. And so we're thinking about ways to have students go beyond what's produced by AI outputs to directly show them that a bank or a fintech is not going to hire a student that can produce basically the same thing as an AI output. So we're evaluating students on their ability to critically think beyond what's just produced by a Gen AI. And we're hoping to have them demonstrate this critical thinking when they do speak to fintechs, either the networking sessions or interviews where they can evaluate an AI output, they can synthesize, they can develop attribution, ask really key attribution questions like where was this output, where did it come from? Demonstrating bias, is there a bias that's in connection, that's impacting this output? So having the critical skills are a key component of what we're looking to really foster in the program, to have students overcome, this new innovation with AI and find a way to work with the intelligence versus having their thinking overridden, essentially by these Gen AIs.
And I mean, from an industry perspective, then, what would you say are some of the key applications of AIs for now, especially in financial services?
For Gen AI, there's a variety. I mean, just listening to the demos today, I would say that one of the key themes that's come up quite a bit is personalization. Meeting the user where they are. I really love that theme. Even almost down to the landing page. You log into your bank and you have a landing page that's specific to your city, to your locality, and maybe to the products that fit your profile. And that is all sourced on data. There's data that's used to filter and determine, okay, what are the key aspects of this one particular user, and let's provide an experience that's customized to that user. So Gen AI is accelerating in that dimension, and I love that aspect of what we're hearing today. I also love the idea of all the different models that are being presented, the machine learning, reinforcement learning. These are all ways of helping humans make decisions. But one of the key areas that's been discussed, and I think it's been kind of discarded in the past, is the accuracy of the data. The outputs are only as good as the inputs, particularly for all these models. So there's a lot of firms today discussing the data accuracy component of what's fed into these models. So, Gen AI and obviously the supportive supervised models are only as good as the data that goes into them. So data accuracy, I would say, is a key component of this AI revolution. And with respect to Gen AI, it's just the personalization component will really revolutionize and add to the contribution margins of banks and fintechs.
And just to finish things off, then, I mean, AI has obviously had an impact on academia as well. How do you think AI should be approached in that context, then? How should that be used in academia, do you think?
Yes. With Gen AI, it really comes down to literacy. And generally speaking, AI, all of the different pillars of AI, it comes down to understanding what are the models, what are the key transferable skills, across discipline, what are the skills that all the students, all professionals should know, so those collaborations can occur more cohesively. So everyone's speaking the same language about, okay, maybe we can apply this supervised model and there's a general understanding of what that means. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to be a coder. You need to, actually write these models and write the programs, but just have a general lexicon that's familiar. So literacy can involve generally understanding the innovations, the models, the potential biases, the limitations, and how the autonomy of making decisions could be assisted by Gen AI, but not necessarily giving the AI full agency. So it really comes down to AI literacy and training staff. We're looking to train faculty as well to demonstrate these different skills and explain them to students, because that's the main thing, is being very transparent with how you're using Gen AI and how you expect the students to use Gen AI. So AI literacy is a key component, and whether it be in academia or these financial institutions, it's really allocating budget to train your faculty or train your employees to understand the limitations, the key limitations of these AIs and the potential benefits as well.
Excellent. Sounds great. Well, Mohamed, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us again today. Enjoy the rest of the conference. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks so much, Paul. It's been a pleasure.